What's going on, everybody? Time for another recap. So, choppy day today. But we did call this and we did talk about this. Let's get into it. So, we had some very big opportunities to see. This is really messy. Let's go to our lesson here. The battle of the golden pocket magnets. Okay. So, in the last video, we had this guy up. Now let's redo it here for you guys real fast. You guys can see where all that love comes from. And we talked about, if you watched my last video, I'll put a link in the description here for you. Yesterday I said in the last couple points, we had like 10 points left, and I assumed we are going to pop over that 10 SMA and come back down. And I said we're going to tag 604.44 in my last video. Well, I guess I'll close the YouTube down. I missed my target by 4 cents. So not too shabby. As we move back up to the golden pocket, that created a very interesting chop scenario because remember the daily tug of war, okay? On the tug of war of algorithms, we had two things going on, right? We talked about this candle the last 4 days and this candle the last 4 days. And we said if it goes under this close of 2-3, it will come down to the golden pocket of 2-3. If we break inside 601, it's going straight to the golden pocket of this candle, right? So 131 candle hit the golden pocket, but watch my lies. Watch why I'm saying this. First tag. Algorithms require first tags. Did we get a tag of the golden pocket? No, we did not. We missed it by a couple cents, like I just said, right? So when we opened today, this was the biggest precursor of our day. So when we opened up, let's turn all these white like we had it in the last video, a little easier to see. All the daily levels are white, weeklies are teal, so on and so forth. So we had the structure break, and we were short biased down to yesterday's highs. We started way up here from pre-market to open. Yesterday's highs is right here on the orange dash line, and yesterday's close. We have these beautiful thinkorswim indicators that we code up that allows us to put yesterday's highs and close in. If you ever join up with BRT, links in the description. We give these out for free. Just hit me up if you join and you want these indicators. So as we came out, opened, I said golden pocket tag, which means 606.55, 605.55, and 604.44. None of these are tagged because yesterday we missed this one by an inch, right? Maybe a millimeter. So as we opened up today, it was very hard to chop because we were either going to open here and go to this GP or this GP or this GP because all of them needed first tag metrics. So I stayed short out of the gate to the first tag of the 50, the most famous one, right? So I shorted out of the gate, wrote it down to the 50. Okay, great. Good little scalp trade. It started building and building and building. And this little guy almost kicked me out of the trade here, but this little guy here was a pretty gnarly push after the high low. So this thing like rode up and I'm like, oh man. I'm like, we have a 3 down, which for me, big things come in 3s in the market. So 1, 2, 3. That was what kept me in short, and my call that we made to our Discord group, yesterday's highs to the downside. Now, the first tag metric, 605.50, that was a big over-under. So the first tag we opened, boom. Okay, now we got a tag. The first one's 50. From here, we could have either went to 606.55 or we could have went to 604.44, okay? I still picked downside because largely based on multiple gap systems, right, on the 1-minute chart, which we go over a lot. You could find them on NQ, ES, and MES today. I'm not going to hand them out too frequently here on the freebie. But we had a lot of gap imbalances that we needed to fill down to yesterday's high. So I assumed that price action was my call, that we were going to yesterday's high today for my group for the short. And that was all I wanted. Well, it took me about an hour and a half of fighting ES, but we entered it here. We got her all the way down here. We took some profit, added into the short here because we were structurally building a 3 down. So again, 1, 2, 3, great target. So extra short adds into here as we were doing it live, and then we finally came to fruition in the target. What did that leave us with on the Qs? Well, QQQ had a lot of divergence today. I didn't feel like trading Qs today, so I stuck to ES because I knew Qs was going to be a little messy as well. Now, Qs had a couple different things to worry about here, right? We had the daily that was already tagged, okay? So unlike SPY, if we go to this daily chart and we were talking about the tug of war, between the two, let's just clear this tester out. Qs didn't have that, okay? We were already inside the pocket. So here's that same candle we were talking about that we just drew out on SPY. And SPY is always the better market. Use it. Don't worry about Qs if you don't have to. So here's that same setup that we talked about 4 times in a row now on YouTube, okay? Golden pocket, no tag. Here's the candle high-low. Then same thing with this one. Under this close for QQQ, we were coming to here, the golden pocket. If we recovered and went long above 521.17, you guessed it, we're going to the GP. And Qs was front running, which means Qs is going higher and higher on the scale of the daily chart rather than what the SPY is doing. Because Qs yesterday already hit, actually 2 days ago, already hit the golden pocket. Yesterday hit the rest of the golden pocket, and today cleared the third leg of the golden pocket. So we hit the 61.8 first, then we went to the 50, then we went to the 38.20. All walking itself up. So we said anything above 521.17 was going to the golden pocket. So we called that beautiful swing up here into the GP area. 200 some points and some change there. Not bad on the NQ for the last couple days. Now, navigating this chop, it was a little bit more annoying. So, but it did play out accordingly to some things that I'll bring up here on the 1 minute chart. So on the 1 minute chart here, we had a couple different gaps and a couple different scares here today. I'll give you that one freebie we talked about yesterday already. There's a fill here. So when the market starts to come down, this is a guaranteed fill on downside confirmation. So make sure you have that listed, 521.98. It's going to be big. So the gaps that we had seen today, okay, let's talk about a few of these here, shies and not shies, because the 1 minute chart did help us out a little bit. We did not start up in too much of a gap up on this one like we did SPY, but it did start in a gap up, and it did, can you see that? You can. Did slam down into yesterday's highs and close to fill the common gap. And then it popped back up. And this was when I called out for my chat. We had a intraday 5 minute double gap right here. The candle's huge gap. So I shorted the shit out of this right here. And I said, this is a guaranteed fill. It's coming back down to this gap. So this popped up, and we've seen a guaranteed algo fill. These are rare, especially in the intraday. And on the 5 minute, non-existent. This is the first I've ever seen a double on the 5 minute period. So thank you, Trump market, for showing me some other cool stuff. So on a 5 minute chart, we had that double, right, gap, and it was filled in the same 5, so it became a common gap. So if you look real close, here's the top of the 5 minute candle, here's the open. Obviously the open of this candle and the past candle's high is the gap. It just happened to fill on the 5 minute, but I have never seen a 5 minute opening gap on both QQQ and SPY. So we started screaming in chat, and I was like, bro, it's going to come straight down after this. It's 5 minute gap. So again, here's the high, and look at that open. Very slim, but it's there, okay? And it opened and ran all the way up here. The candle with the gap looks like this. One giant green candle, and it left last high and the open as the gap. So I started short, because it was going to come back down. On the 1 minute, you could also still see it. I think it's open on the 1 minute. But the 5 minute was the key, because I had never seen a QQQ and SPY in the same spot in the same minute do the same gap. That is a guaranteed fill in my book for the algos and how I use them and how I view them. So as it popped up, I said short, and right back down it went. So we caught that one too. So last but not least, it was a very chop algo. So let's go right into the prediction here. We got some more Trump marketing here, right? Very beautiful. I'm going to go to a no tag anchor view app for this one. Let's grab the top steps here. So the no tag here was a beautiful, beautiful signal. So way back here, what do we have? 8, 9? Yeah. So 8:30 a.m. right at the 9, we had this interesting little open, and then we had the cluster. This is from yesterday, right? This is not today. It's from yesterday. ISM data, okay, is the biggest key takeaway. So I put some anchors on, anchor view apps, and I put them on the lower, right? And I looked down and I went, oh man, these don't tag. If you zoom in real close there, the anchor on the bottom of the data candle and the last candle wick in the cluster of consolidation, both were the ones I wanted to see back test today. So we came up and we ran. And in my crew, I was like, yeah, we'll probably come back to those eventually. Algo will drive it. Was not an easy trade day. Look at this action. I mean, we still made it out alive on all accounts, but was not easy. But yeah, as we moved into that no tag, generally speaking, they return to themselves. It's just our job to find out how, when, where, and when that's going to happen, right? So the Trumpster had this crazy volatility coming out. I don't know what news it is. Could be a Fed speak. Could be some others. I'm not going to go too heavy into it, but could have been one of the other. It could even be a Musk tweet. You don't even know. But yeah, the big candles you're going to see right now are all Amazon derivative because we have Amazon after hours. So, but I just want to figure out some of the futures there. The back test of this no tag was a very big confident booster. So I actually typed in my chat and I was like, guys, big W play. So we tacked on another $3,000 in profits today from the big W play. on the big accounts, and this is the W pattern that's S tier for me. And I even said, if you miss the W play right here, guys, I said she's still in a 3-up, just scalping the center W. Next higher low also available, right, for the long. Let's talk about that real fast and what that call looks like. Well, on the minute chart, which I love to be in, I seen this W. This is the one I just posted in my Discord. Went down, W pattern, came up. I scalped a little bit of the W center here, up, looked for this, right? Imbalance fill. But more often than not, we had the W, and it was right here, right when you see that picture. I said, wait for the next higher low, go long. Down, higher low, boom. Why? Because things come in big threes in the market. What do we see? Bottom, 1, 2, 3, and then this good nonsense, which is not part of the 3-up. Don't even think I predicted that. Not a chance. I was only going for this. So my prediction was the next higher low into the gap fill here, which it would have been about 40 points, and then you could have done the next fair value gap up here as well. Maybe if you wanted a runner, 67 points. The rest of all this, absolute nonsense for me. So we didn't do too bad today overall. If any of this sounds good, you want to see me do this live, we have a link in the description if you want to see that live. We trade Top Step funded accounts a lot of the time. We recycle them. I'm not really going to tell you what I do here. Let me grab this. I have 5 of them. We rotate these all the time for reasons I'm not going to go into here. But we were up to like 11 payouts. Top Step always pays. Best funded account program there is, period. So they're doing really well on the learn. So right now we're doing really fine. We have a couple accounts over $4,000, a couple of one accounts over 5,800 on this group. We have another group on a different section. Can't tell you how I do that either. And then 2 new accounts that we had started today that we just got $728 on. My team knows what's going on in the Discord. They know how I'm treating these accounts, let's just say. But I'm a profitable trader, and for full transparency, I always show everything to my group and post it on X and blah, 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 because that shit's easy. Show my bank account statements from the Apex trades. I show them from the Top Step. I'll post them all next week when I get all my other Top Step pays. I think we're up like 15 grand in the next week is an extra 6. So I don't want to count that yet. 11 or 12 grand in the last 2-3 weeks on Top Step. So we're doing pretty good. Nice and slow and steady. Nothing huge. We're not $1 million everyday traders, but we can make a real good living the way we do it. So if any of that sounds good to you, link is in the description. You want to trade with me? If not, tune into the next free YouTube video. Love to have you. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff that regular weirdos say on here. You take care, trade safe, stay curious in the market.